Irregularity, I suppose you know all about laxatives. Well, there are stimulants like...
What's up, everybody? My name is Shantoria. Welcome to the video, and I pray you all are doing well. Today, I'm going to take you guys through the history of the jingle. No, not the one on Santa's sleigh, though he and the polar bears have been in every Coca-Cola ad during the Christmas season, so I get it. Commercial jingles have become a few of our fondest memories growing up, and I feel just learning just a little bit about them will not only be fun, but also quite interesting. So I hope you all enjoy the video. Now let's get started. After a quick search on Google, the jingle is defined as a short slogan, verse, or tune designed to be easily remembered, especially as used in advertising. And the jingle can actually be traced back to the radio being seen as more of an evolution than its own separate creation. After struggling with their Wheaties brand, General Mills is credited to have been the first to air a singing commercial on radio in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, soon going nationwide following their success in rising sales. The ad was titled, "Have You Tried Wheaties?", which aired on Christmas Eve in 1926, being sung by a barbershop quartet. It didn't take long for other brands to follow suit, and post-war consumption was on the rise. In 1939, Pepsi released their hit Pepsi Cola Hits the Spot, and Chiquita Bananas broadcasted in 1944, teaching consumers how to store bananas, new recipes, and when they're ripe enough to eat. Which I find kind of odd because it's like, she's a banana and it's almost like massacre, almost like...
You're most digestible, my friend, delicious too from end to end.
It's a little weird. It's a little weird. Between the 1950s and 60s, TV ads relied a lot on the jingle, and the longer form singing commercials were actually very popular. And we quickly see a shift going into the 70s where the jingle kind of gets the boot. In an article written by Tiffany Stanley titled "What Killed the Jingle?", advertisers wanted to appeal to the new young audience that just didn't view jingles as quote-unquote cool anymore. So they decided to commission promotional music that had a more pop kind of sound. In 1971, advertisers produced "I'd Like to Buy the World a Coke," which sounded enough like a pop song that it eventually was released as one. And it's actually a lesser known fact that this was the most expensive commercial ever made at the time. And by the 1980s, the jingle wasn't doing as well as it used to. Stanley even credits Michael Jackson for advertisers shifting away from using jingles and using popular music instead. Starring in the 1984 Pepsi campaign, Jackson revised his song Billie Jean instead of using a jingle, starting a new wave of celebrities licensing their music. After his acquisition of the publishing rights of the Beatles catalog, Jackson licensed the song Revolution to be in a 1985 Nike campaign because nostalgia is a great selling tool. And Nike got sued soon after that. So there you go. And to save on licensing costs and fees, advertisers sought out lesser known artists and songs because, guys, according to an article that I read that was published in 2021, advertising for licensing music, just for an advertising for a year, can go upwards of $300,000. So keep that in mind. Nowadays, they focus more on selling you an experience than an actual product. And through the 50s and 60s, they took the time to actually explain the use of the product, what it was made of, the different scenarios you would use it in, and then they would have the jingle at the end. And this was very much so with smoking advertisement. There's a lot of cigarette campaigns. I will be honest, seeing the Flintstones smoke at all, just smoke period, was a little bit jarring, so I just find it hilarious. And there's also a lot of guilt tripping, by the way, especially in the ones directed towards women. But I also remember in the 2000s that this type of advertising was also very much heavily used as well, except it was more exaggerated and dramatic, at least in my opinion. And it's crazy how things really just never change, just evolve. And I think the longer form was mostly used towards women in cookware and kids advertisements. And by the way, there's this cupcake baking thing where you can make a giant cupcake and fill stuff in it. Man, I actually want that. That ad actually worked on me, so I'm gonna be honest, I actually kind of wanted it.
Tired of looking like a fool when your cakes aren't cool?
Yes.
I feel like if I was trying to make a cake, I would have disappointed my child because it didn't look like that. There was no filling in there. There was no pudding. There's no pudding in this cake. How could I fail my child as a parent? I need that giant cupcake baking cake thing, whatever it's called. And also, they would heavily repeat the jingle in the ads in the 2000s. It was ridiculous. They were unhinged. But even a few of the ones I actually saw in the video of the 50s and 60s advertisements, a few of them did have it throughout as well. Mostly the Reese's, mostly the Rice Krispies one for sure. But it was just way too long. Advertising was just way too long. Nowadays, I wouldn't say the jingle really is used much anymore. And if it is, advertisers really utilize comedy, especially in fast food ads. I'm looking at you, Wendy's, Arby's. Was it Wendy's? Yeah, Wendy's, Arby's, Sonic, and Taco Bell. I'm looking at y'all for. Y'all heavily, or at least not as much now, at least back in 2022. I remember seeing a lot, okay? I remember seeing a lot. It was just too much, unhinged. And we were watching a few of the ads from the 2000s. I didn't realize how long they were. And especially the ones geared towards children and teenagers. They were trying to make sure that their kids annoyed their parents to buy them a pillow pet or some foam. For the teenagers, it was a foshigi ball. Yes, I will be here all day with the jokes. Yes. Honestly, what is that thing? Oh, but I'm not going to act like, I don't even know what that was for, but I'm also not going to act like I was not mesmerized by the ads, even now rewatching it. So I was actually quite intrigued.
I don't know what it is, but it's the coolest thing ever, and I can do it.
Also found it hilarious that the Education Connection commercial popped up on Twitter a while back. And by the way, that was created by Anthony Falcon and Rusty J in 2009. I remember when it would pop up on Cartoon Network all the time. I never really understood it, by the way. To my kid brain, I was thinking, this is for adults. Why does it keep popping up on Cartoon Network? But I remember it would come on and I would sing along each time, and then I'll be so frustrated when they cut it short. And they did that with a 2009 Reese's Puff ad, okay? R-E-E-S-E-S, yes. P to the U-double-F-S, yes. Hey, Reese's Puff, Reese's Puff. Peanut butter chocolate flavor. Y'all, I never ate this cereal, by the way. So if you have, let me know. Does it taste like peanut butter? Does it taste like chocolate? And if it does, then I guess it's not false advertising. So now we come to the portion of the video where I share with you guys just a very small few of famous jingles that go across many generations. And first up we have the Folgers jingle, which was written by Susan Siegel Sullivan, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, Bill Vernick, and Leslie Pearl in 1984. And fun fact, Leslie actually had a hit song 2 years prior titled If the Love Fits, Wear It. So, fun thing to know. The State Farm and Band-Aid jingles were written by Barry Manilow in 1971. The nationwide is on your side was written by J.D. Miller in 1977. I'll be here all week with the jokes, okay? Oh my god. I love that episode of SpongeBob, by the way. Okay, let's continue. And lastly, the McDonald's I'm Lovin' It ad was created by Pusha T, Justin Timberlake, and a few others. And apparently there's drama surrounding Pusha T's involvement, him being involved at all in making the jingle. But at least, you know, he owns 40% of the publishing with the jingle he made with Arby's. So good for him. It's important, y'all. It's important for y'all to keep your rights. As songwriters, make sure to keep your publishing rights, okay? Fun fact, that's the moneymaker. Next to the master recording, that is the true moneymaker as well. Now we've reached the point of the video where I pass it on to you guys and ask you, what jingles do you remember or find yourself singing every now and then? Is it possibly this Burger King ad that I did not know ever existed?
Mr. Krabs,
Yeah.
Patrick,
Yeah.
has SpongeBob got the butt?
Oh,
Tell him
yeah.
to shake it,
Shake it.
shake it,
Shake it.
shake that cubicle butt. SpongeBob got back. Nah, dude, I said cubicle, Why?
Unhinged, unnecessary, and I'm honestly scarred for life. But let me know in the comments down below if you have seen this before, because I did not. And I pray you all have a blessed rest of your day and an awesome rest of your week. Peace out.